My name is Candace Sanderson. Welcome to Vines to the Divine. In today's episode, I invite you to join me for an eye-opening adventure where I launch into an out-of-body experience and then I bring back words of wisdom that certainly were not from me. Once a skeptical psychologist, now I am guided by a circle of messengers, spirit guides I encounter during my journeys, who unlock out of body adventures and deliver messages that never cease to amaze me. As we journey together, you'll discover how these extraordinary experiences can inspire us to see life from a new perspective. And hopefully, you will find some fresh insights that you can apply to your life. Whether you are curious or just discovering this world, join me today for this inside look of the wonders of meditation as we, with the help of spirit vines, connect to the divine. So let's begin. This experience occurred October 22nd, 2025 at Mystical Moon in Bonita Springs, Florida, at a weekly group meditation led by Reverend Michelle Love. I arrive about 10 minutes early, and that's late for me, so I sit down quickly and open up my journal. I take a deep, grounding breath and settle into my chair. Within seconds, a vivid image unfolds in my mind's eye as I look up and I see threads from the four corners of the room that swirl and they meet in the very center of the ceiling. They intertwine, they form a cluster of vines that then cascade into the meditation area. I am going to offer an inside look throughout this episode, beginning at this very moment. So let me break this down. If you were here with me as the meditation was getting ready to begin, you might glance over at me and you notice that how my gaze is drifting upward toward the ceiling. And you might wonder, I wonder what she sees. While others around me remain firmly anchored in the three-dimensional world, I perceive images that are vivid. They're not visible to them, but for me, I'm aware that I'm standing at a threshold of the fifth dimension, and I'm beginning to navigate an intricate interplay between my familiar 3D reality and this emerging 5D consciousness. Now, I use that term 5D generically to apply to anything that happens beyond the 3D, in that space just beyond the physical. But before I can cross this interdimensional threshold, my first step is to perceive it. I sense these energy vines through what my messengers call the non-senses. You see, they do have a sense of humor, but actually that term non-senses is both memorable and accurately descriptive because non-senses are non-physical senses. As we spend more time in that 5D, we learn to stretch our physical senses well beyond what is available in this dense environment on Earth. And it's that stretching of those senses that transforms them, those regular senses, into non-senses, non-physical senses. Do you notice that I say that I sense these vines coming into the room? I did not say I see them. When I sense or perceive something, it is larger. It is more expansive than just that single sense of vision, of seeing it. These spirit vines, of course, are an analogy. They are not just merely plants, but living metaphors. I let the images play out in real time. And I do that because it keeps me in the flow of the present moment. When I start sensing energy in the room like these spirit vines, I know to stay in my lane, to stay in my role as scribe, and do nothing but document the experience. The time to dissect my impressions, like I'm doing now, is after the fact. You see, if I stop and interpret them now, analyzing them as they occur would pull me back into a beta brainwave and therefore stop the experience. I don't want that. I need to stay in an alpha or an even deeper brainwave state to keep these extraordinary actions flowing. Let's return to the event. As those vines descend into the room, I see them and they're reaching out as if they're searching for something to anchor themselves to. They're searching for a foundation. Then they spill beneath the floor. Now, notice how easy it is at this stage for me to perceive through solid matter like the floor. And as these vines go beneath the floor, they weave together to form a thatched mat that grounds them to earth energies. I smile because these spirit vines have just become what they were seeking, an anchor. I step back and observe, and I realize these twisting vines have become a trellis connecting us to higher vibrational frequencies. This trellis is both a foundation and a bridge to higher states of consciousness. Okay, let's pause again. Let me add more details. Watching these vines in real time is mesmerizing, but I know they are not just fascinating scenery. They are now a tool. Later, I can use the spirit trellis as a ladder to reach higher vibrational frequencies. This experience also contains lessons that arrive through me. We are instruments of spirit. So every thought, every image, every feeling that I have during a meditation is interpreted through that instrument, through me, through this avatar of earth that holds my spirit and my essence. There is not a universal language with the 5D, although we can certainly see commonalities. A single image can have a very different meaning for you than it does for me. You may not even get the connection until you research it later. So it is important to record the details in real time and search for the meaning later. Connecting to spirit, what I call the 5D, occurs through vibrational matches. The vines drop down to provide the mechanism, the framework for us to go up. Of course, we are not moving up or down, but this image helps me understand how my frequencies mesh with theirs. And when we have that vibrational match, doors open for better and often more specific communication. This trellis is an invitation to explore. I figure that out the second I perceive it. This framework represents connective tissue, living connective tissue between the 3D and the 5D. How do I know that? It's more than just an intuitive hit. After years of doing this, I just know things, and I've learned to trust that knowing. I grab the vines from the trellis and I pull myself off the ground. The trellis is sturdy, it holds me well. I am immediately aware of a powerful sensation that is coursing through me. My heartbeat pulses through every fiber of my body, and it creates a rhythm that aligns with my breath. Next, I sense my alignment with spirit, that vibrational match I spoke of before. But it's so much more than that when it happens, when it moves through all aspects of who I am. Now, if you read the literature, some people refer to this as the vibrational state, but it becomes momentum for further expansion and exploration. My essence then moves so far beyond my physical form. I realize I've reached a full-blown out-of-body state. In this expansive state of awareness, I not only perceive my internal vibrations, but I also become aware of something greater. I sense this profound connection with the heartbeat and pulse of Gaia, the spirit of Mother Earth herself. I smile at this realization. It grounds me in the present moment, and it deepens my appreciation for this experience. In this out-of-body state where I am expanded and aligned with the 5D, I not only feel the vibrations, I become the vibrations. I am the heartbeat of spirit and the pulse of Gaia. As I let go and allow, I sink even deeper, feeling safe, loved, comforted, and protected like a swaddled infant in their mother's arms. I am in a state of pure bliss. Now, let me break this down. This is my experiencer who feels these connections. My observer watches everything, and my scribe continues to objectively record without analyzing what my observer sees and what my experiencer experiences as it occurs in real time. The observer opens the door for more energy to fuel my experience. That is how and why I, as the experiencer, recognize this heartbeat connection to Mother Earth and how it is part of an organic rhythm of life. It is a pulse that sustains and guides me. That pattern of breathing out that enables me to breathe in. That magical flow of energy, of life. Yes, this is that vibrational matching to the 5D. It is there and it is getting stronger. As my observer steps back to watch this process, I clearly feel the 3D to 5D connection, the meeting of the minds through these living, organic flow of vines, the pulse of the divine. When visions like this start during a meditation, I always smile and think, here it comes, spirit show and tell. This is how my guides get the messages across to me. When I am in a group setting, the message is often for someone else in the group, but sometimes it's for the group as a whole. I don't judge. I just know the message gets delivered to whomever needs it. It might even be for you as you listen to this episode. Now that all aspects of me are where they need to be for the experience, communication from the messengers arrive. Let me read what they said about the spirit vines. Though they descend, they create the framework for upward growth. This is grounding. This is laying the foundation for healing. And aside here, they mention healing, suggesting the importance of grounding when connecting with higher frequencies that our guides and angels offer for healing as well as just communication. 'Tis life, is it not? Always nurturing you. From above feeds you and connects you to the divine. Grounding completes the organic rhythm of life. Now, it's interesting that this organic rhythm of life is mentioned because that is exactly what I had just experienced. So this message actually confirms what I already know, that I am in tune with these messengers, with the 5D. When the message says connects to the divine, by using that living metaphor of the spirit vines, I can sense that connection. I am in the center between both Mother Earth below and the sacred above. My attention returns to the vision, and I watch that thatched mat beneath the floor begin to move. My scribe documents what my observer sees as these edges of the thatched floor move upward, and they create a bowl around the room. And then an image of a large basket from a hot air balloon flashes before me. Now, I know that this image is not from me. It's something the messenger showed me to affirm my experience. And I know that I will have fun interpreting that later. A basket that would carry me and others upward like a hot air balloon, maybe. At this point, the message continues. Transitions on the surface are, by definition, challenging because of change. Rest in peace, dear ones. Know you are protected. Know you are loved. You are nurtured. Transformation may feel uncertain, but within a chrysalis, all is provided, is it not? Fear not, for guidance is with you, giving you what you need. This is so comforting, the idea that we are wrapped in nature's embrace during times of change. At this point, the thatched material is no longer looking like a hot air balloon basket. It has now expanded to cover the entire room in a bubble. And I realize we are inside a thatched orb. My observer sees a taproot at the bottom where it connects with the heart of Gaia, and an opening at the top with vines streaming in from the divine. My experiencer feels protected, cocooned, comforted, while also feeling nurtured. I stop and just allow these peaceful frequencies to enter my energy body. I try to pause during these experiences to absorb the vibrations and feel the bliss. I know when I return to the 3D, some of those frequencies come with me. So these pauses allow for more entrainment to occur. Plus, it feels so good. As the message indicates, we, the meditation participants, including you, are connected from the top to those divine sources And as the tendrils from beneath our feet ground us deeply within the center of the earth, we are resting in the center. The next thing that happens, I see these delicate threads of light that enter the room. These tiny filaments begin to stretch as they twist and turn, zigzagging between the empty spaces, filling the even tightest gaps between the basket weaves. This shows me the connection, the blending of frequencies as it literally brings light into the grounding trellis made from the spirit vines. The threads of light melt, becoming one with the weave. The mood in the room lifts. The energy is lighter. It feels more hopeful. We, as the participants, also coalesce and become one with the vine of the divine. And as we do, this room transforms into a heartfelt, living orb of light. Another knowing crosses my awareness. This is Source, manifesting through its bond with Earth, a profound and sacred union where the realms of nature and spirit intertwine. They're all connected and illuminated by a radiant thread of living light. It is a timeless connection, as if everything is woven into the tapestry of divine energy that flows gently between Earth and Source. There is also a larger lesson. When we quiet our minds and become grounded, it allows us to connect to subtler energy frequencies. The grounding anchors us so that we can remember our experiences. How else would we integrate these lessons into our 3D world unless we can recall them? As my messengers say, it's not what you know, it's what you show. In other words, if we do not bring these lessons into our daily lives, what purpose do they serve? The message continues. It is the divine dance, this weaving of nature with the source of life force energy. For this is how it works, dear ones, one photon at a time. But know it is there. As humans change, they transform in preparation for another stage in life. As a caterpillar transforms into a beautiful winged creature of freedom from the confines of its chrysalis, you too are being prepared. Quiet your minds, open to the grounding of Gaia. Connect to the divine. It is through that connection that light enters. Source shines its light upon a new path that will lead you on a path of enlightenment. I love this message. I realize my experience shows me that through this connection to the divine, light enters, source enters, and illuminates a new path for those of us who are ready. This leads us to greater understanding and growth, nudging us closer to enlightenment. This is how Source offers transformation for our next stage in life and afterlife. I feel humble as I also know I am witnessing Source as it makes itself known to us through our great mother, Gaia, the spirit of Mother Earth. Although a relatively short message, its meaning is both familiar and profound. When we touch those 5D spaces, we connect with the rhythm of life. These vines nurture us. From above, energy feeds us. From below, we are grounded and connected to the earth. This is an organic flow, nature's way of keeping us balanced in our 3D lives, something that seems more challenging lately. When we feel ungrounded, untethered, without an anchor, we might feel lost, but there is something we can do. The next time I feel this way or I feel overwhelmed, I know I can pause. I can feel the earth beneath my feet and then reach up to that trellis of spirit vines and discover my own threads of light. We all have access to this grounding and this divine support. It is a matter of allowing ourselves to connect, to let nature and spirit guide us. Every day, every breath is an opportunity to weave this divine light into our lives. Transitions, by their nature, are always challenging, much like the way Mother Nature gracefully shifts from one season to the next. In these moments of change, nature envelops us, covering, protecting, and wrapping us like a swaddling infant, leaving us feeling safe, nurtured, and loved. As we bring this episode of Vines to the Divine to a close, I hope these images and insights I shared will help you sense your own connection to both the natural and the spiritual worlds. Allow yourself to be anchored and inspired, knowing that every journey, every breath is part of this divine rhythm. Remember, whether you're standing at the edge of transformation or seeking comfort during times of change, you are never alone. You are supported by that grounding embrace of Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and you are uplifted by that guiding light of Source. By grounding ourselves in the rhythms of the natural world, opening our hearts to the divine light, and trusting the transformational process, we allow ourselves to experience each beautiful moment as it unfolds. We can become the light for others to follow. We can be the peace we seek. Thank you for joining me in exploring these deeper dimensions of consciousness. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and share if you found something worthy. May you find peace, wisdom, and the courage to embrace your own path to the divine. Remember the importance of kindness. Until next time, goodbye.